video I'm gonna do. I got this stuff yesterday for a very reasonable price. God, I can't believe how friggin' good it is too. It's this great value cappuccino, French vanilla cappuccino right here. And I have my glass that I'm gonna use. Casey's right there. Regular. Get some fucking. Gonna get a nice cappuccino this morning. Right there, you see that? And I used some of my coffee that I made, mixed it, which is this stuff right here, this Java Time gourmet coffee right here, 100% Arabica. I added that powder to this here, and we got a cappuccino. I mean, the closest thing you're gonna get. I mean, really. With extra no money at all. You know how much they want for something like this? When you go to a coffee shop, they want so much for something like this. Coffee is so expensive when you go out and you get it out. Like, it really is. So, I'm gonna have my morning smoke, I think, possibly. Get ready. Yeah, trying the best I can. See, I got my stuff in. Look at this. It's so soggy. Look, I had to get this shit in yesterday. Cause I didn't know if it was gonna rain. Yeah, this is my stuff right here. See, it's like when maple syrup seeps through a waffle, right? And it breaks. It's so soft that it like comes right apart. This is what the cardboard's like. This is what the cardboard's like. You get part of it's dry too. You know, like it didn't get soaked. But then the other part is. I don't know what that's gonna be, but I open it. I have no idea. And I don't even want to know right now, honestly. I don't even want to know. Gosh.
Okay, thank you very much. And the same goes for you. I think you still have my phone number, right?
Yeah, I still have it, but I don't want to bother you.
You will never be bothering me. Maybe if you need me, call me anytime.
Alright.
Okay? And I'm gonna go right now, but I just wanted to come up here and tell you how much I love you. And then
Alright. So, got a few smoke I'm gonna have right now. This morning I'll just go for something more simple. This one here is called Cuban Delights, right here. I got this when I was out somewhere. At one of the cheaper places to buy smokes, right here, I got this. Cuban Delights. in Robusto. Had the last one. It was really good when I had it. I got two of these. These were like $2.05 a piece for these. Right here. So, smells very nice. And I like to get deals on good stuff, typically. Coffee, smokes. Like I got this Walmart French vanilla cappuccino mix. Turns out it makes a very decent coffee. You're paying more for that going to a coffee shop or something. I got this hot cocoa mix kind of stuff. Um, Woke up at around 2:30 a.m. About. Pretty much resumed it now what I was going to do last night. Pretty much resumed it when I woke up. I ate dinner when I woke up. It's such a weird schedule, to be honest, sometimes. You stay up all day, and then you finally crash at like 6 p.m. or something. That's what happened to me yesterday. Slowly making progress with everything. Slowly. I just pretty much here to kill time until things happen. And I'm not going to be around here much again. Yep. It's a very good smoke, this one here. Human Delights. They usually sell these online in bundle packs. I've seen them before. There's a couple places that sell them in singles though around here. I did a review on my cigar channel about on this one here already. This place Casey's right here. They have pizza. They have taco pizza and they have regular cheese and pepperoni, sausage, cheese, and pepperoni pizzas. And they have taco pizza. And they also have all these sauces. I took them thinking they were free, and then the woman was about to charge me, like, oh, I thought those were free to just take out of here if you wanted extra sauce or something. Yeah, this right here. I have other ones too, but yeah, I have this one that I've been using. It's a royalty type ashtray, isn't it? Like really nice. But this is the one that came with the room right here. This came with the room right here. So this woman was about to charge me. I'm like, oh, I thought those were free. Oh, never mind then. But then when she decided to do it, she actually just decided to put them in a bag and give them to me for me. I'm like, are these really for me to take? It's like, yeah, go ahead, take them. But she told me they usually don't do that, though. Fucking cold this morning. Right now, it doesn't feel that cold right now. It feels like it's maybe 40. It's 42. It's 42 degrees, it says, and cloudy. I got the weather notice right now. Yesterday was 60. It was nice. Jesus Christ. I was walking. I didn't film when I was walking yesterday. I didn't feel like it, but I went somewhere yesterday. I went to this town center type place to check it out. The gay-friendly part of Omaha. I was there yesterday. You're gonna rent there. It's pretty expensive. Some boutique shops down there too. It snowed last night. You got snow last night? For real? You did. Come having a cigar, dear. Cuban Delights right there. $2 and change for this. Yeah, New England, yeah, but anywhere up north has their problems though with weather. It just depends on what you'd rather have and what you'd rather not have, I guess. But I don't believe that they had snow last night. That's crazy because I don't think there's snow anywhere right now in the country. Yet they somehow got snow. Any kind of snow I've experienced here was exactly like the snow they describe in Colorado, like Denver. They say when it snows in Denver, it melts like practically right away. It doesn't even stay on the ground, really. And that's what I saw over here, so. It snowed, and then I guess it looked like it snowed a lot, but then it melted. It all just melted. You know? You fucking jerk. Yes, why I kick you everywhere I go, everywhere I have a wrench. That's the fucking reason why I boot people like you, motherfucker. You fucking retards will never get it, so you deserve to perish. You are not gonna be moving forward in the next society. We were expecting an ice storm, cream to the damn hot. I hate ice storms. I hate those sometimes worse because then your car gets all frozen solid and there's not even much snow. But your car gets all frozen. You can't open the door and shit, you know. There's like sheets of ice all over everything. I hate that fucking shit. When I went to Indianapolis, I saw ice storms. I didn't like them. There was hardly any snow on the ground, but yet ice was like coating people's vehicles. You get that stuff in Toronto where you live? Ice sheet storms? Look at these motherfuckers have absolutely no life. I'll send you back to Alcatraz with every other fucking troll on here. Which one? They're all like, I'm sure YouTube recognizes which accounts are what. They probably know it comes from the same people. They probably read the same IP addresses. And you know what I also think? I'll tell you what I also think. They judge certain YouTubers who even show their face based on the company they keep. If they keep like certain people around their pages, YouTube takes notes of that. Like somebody who might not even look to be a troll, but yet they get all these trolls surrounding them, or people who have terminated accounts, like say Phantom, say, I don't know, say such and such, Anderson I'll use. Like say Wingstar, okay? She'll be judged like that because that's who mostly that she keeps around her channel. So that they won't want to grow that channel. They won't want to get the algorithm to go up on YouTube because they don't have any real activity on there, and they don't. But also, those hate channels are not spamming the hell out of her either. They notice they're kind of interacting with her in a way, but they're not really around in that mass amount. So they won't promote somebody like Wingstar, for instance. Just using that person as an example. You can't really go ha 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 yeah 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 and have all those people in your side chat and think that nothing's wrong with the whole thing. They won't promote somebody like that though. God, yeah. Sometimes have to use that generator to keep the fridge necessary for myself. That's smart thinking. That's very smart thinking. Yeah. In Canada, they seem prepared, like they have a lot of generators and stuff. I don't know. I would imagine they would up there with all that snow and all that cold weather up there. Why do you think I don't want to live in the country? That's the reason. Unless I know a bunch of people, I would not want to move out to the country by myself. I just would not want to do that. I don't think it's smart to do that. I wouldn't want to be the only one there. It's hard to even do that around people, let alone out in the country. Yeah, hate speech trolls. Yeah, they're just. I bet it's him. I bet it's him, or that like that other dude who walks around, keyboard warrior, expect us, those fucking assholes that run around to every channel and stuff. And their main mission seems to be to keep showing up and laugh every time I block their accounts. That's stupid. That's dorky shit. That's total geek shit. That isn't even funny. Those are the kids that got stuffed into lockers back when I was in school. Even back then, it wasn't happening as much to the like back in the 80s, or whatever. But those are the types of people that were doing that crap. And they show that they're just as big an asshole, or even worse sometimes. It shows that this is who they would really be if they could be this way. No, they wouldn't. They don't. Where you come from, they don't act like that. No, you might have some people you don't like, but for Christ's sakes, they don't act. They're not like that. I know our area well. There are some people I definitely did not like there, but for Christ's sakes, it never got like this. Jason is an animal abuser? What the fuck did he do to his animals? Seems to be a magnet for all these kind of people, though. This community brings in all that shit. Is goat? Why would you make a goat cry? What the hell does a goat ever do to you? Or a person? What would a goat ever do? I think goats are pretty goofy, but at the same time, they're funny. I wouldn't want to make a goat cry, for Christ's sakes. That's no good. So what's all this crap about Bergs calling again and making multiple phone calls every morning? What is this shit, Noodles? Tell me more about it. You said you want to get Berg's number out because he bothers all these people, right? Supposedly. What the fuck's wrong with him? What the fuck's wrong with him to be doing that? Why do you think he doesn't have my number? Number one. I never got to that level with him ever before. I just only hear what people tell me about him. How about Jill? He must do it to Jill, if that be the case. As I'm telling you, whatever the hell's going on, that relationship is pretty much pegged like both of them are the same. And not one of them is better than the other. Do you believe that? Because after today, I'm just not even going to ask about it anymore. It's just so stupid to me. They've known each other for a while and they haven't even met. And they're dragging this on much longer than me and Abby ever drug it on. They're dragging it on much longer, whatever's going on. But then Bergs at the same time acts like he's in control of that relationship with Jill. Like, oh, I'll give Jill your information or something. I'll have Jill call you or call me through Jill or something. Or Jill won't go up to you because she's your elder or something. Like, what? Like, why is this such a process? If Jill wanted to talk to me, she can fucking come up to me and talk to me. And thus far, she has not done that. So you know what I'm starting to wonder, Noodles? I'm telling you what I'm gonna put out there now. Bergs and Jill are staging this shit. They're staging it behind the scenes, and he's acting like she's coming in and disrupting his show, but he tells her to do it probably 3/4 into the show or something. He probably tells her to do it, I think. Then he acts like that their relationship is being ruined or something. Yeah, he fake cried. Yeah, then he's acting. He's an actor. Why do you think he calls his show the Berg Show? It's a show, kind of like you're doing a show. I just think he's in more denial of that. But I think he's doing that. He's acting. He's got a show. That's really what I think it is. No way that could be real. It's just too bad to be real. Even if you were acting this whole time, still, wouldn't you want to meet that person you were collaborating with for 2 years, even if all of it's an act? Even if all of it's an act. And it would suck hard too if none of it was an act. Why is he going to be fouled though? Why are they trying to pull him up? I don't understand why they're trying to pull Berg's son up, whoever he is. Why do they want to pull him up? It almost sounds like the Tasha Teeley situation almost. How her ex and the son was actually on camera and we saw the son get mad at Tasha. Will that same thing happen with Bergs? That's my question. I think rumor has it Bergs has a mixed son. Isn't that true? He has like a mixed kid or something? But Bergs just hated him or something like that? I don't know. Or maybe a stepson. It was a stepson, I think. That's what it was. I thought it was a stepson, though. Like the kid wasn't his own or something, so he just didn't like it. I think that's the story I heard. Fucking losers, dude. Like Derek Jeter. Why, Derek Jeter had a kid he didn't like either? Is that what you're saying? Or he had a stepson that was half? I know Sammy Sosa hates himself. Sammy Sosa dyed his entire skin. I saw Sammy Sosa transform his whole skin color. That's... Sammy Sosa wants to look lighter than the biracial. A lot of those Puerto Rican biracials are very fucked up. A lot of them, they're some of the worst around because of how confused and how fucked up they are. And then they have the Spanish culture element added to it. They're worse than oftentimes the American mixed kids. I think the Puerto Rican kids are the worst, actually. They're the worst of the worst. I'm going to tell you something right now, Noodles. I don't like Puerto Ricans overall. Like on the whole, I don't care for Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, really. I don't really... I haven't had too many as friends in my whole life either, really. There were Puerto Ricans around, but I was never really close friends with a Puerto Rican person, really. Or a Mexican person. When I came out west or whatever. I think the language plus the fact they're mixed, I think, causes a problem. Yeah, most of them are know-it-alls. Yeah, that's what I found in my experience. I'll tell you who I do like dealing with, though. Middle Eastern people. I've had very few problems with Middle Eastern people, if any. It's always the Hispanics or small portions of black people. It was never the Middle Eastern people, though. Even Asian people, not that much either. Yeah, Hawaiians are better than Puerto Ricans, I would say. But by how much? That's the thing. I'd say they're kind of comparable. I think that the Hawaiians of the West Coast equivalent, I'd say, to them for the most part. That's what it seems like to me. Like if I found like an Americanized Hawaiian person, maybe someone who's lived in America for a while, I found they were kind of like Puerto Ricans a little bit, a little bit. I kind of saw the comparisons. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, Ouija, look, whatever happened to him? Well, I'll do this all night, you fucking trolls. I'll kick all your accounts tonight. I'll kick all of them tonight. And you'll have to keep creating accounts. You'll have to keep making my analytics go up, which makes YouTube notice my channel. It makes them put me up more. So you're just doing this to yourself? You're just doing this to yourself. That's all you're doing. You're making my channel grow, is what you're doing. I'm like 20 something over 2,000 already. I gained about 50 subs since coming back or so. Fake news. Bergs grew up to 2.60, but even then I'm on pace to catching that even. Probably made by 2K though. He had a period where he gained some over the last year though. But I remember when he did get monetized, CAD had something to do with it. So, when some of these people's channels go down, they're going to take forever to build them again. Because we're not at the stage of YouTube where people are running around here as active as they used to be. And they're just not around here. Those people are not around here anymore. Like Cat bought Bergs a whole bunch of subs or something. There aren't like those kind of people running around. So when people finally lose their channels, like if Rosie O'Kelly lost her channel, there's no way it's gonna get 30,000 subs again. It's just not gonna happen. These fucking pathetic people right here. It's just more channel visitors for me. That's all it is. So keep on boosting my numbers while you start looking pathetic. And you keep looking pathetic. You still want to do this. That's what mind boggles me to death. That they still want to do this shit. Wonder if I should have a joke channel where I mod all these people up and see what happens. if I had a channel where I modded every one of these troll accounts up? What if I had a channel where I did that? Then what the hell would they do? If I all of a sudden, if I just decided to give these trolls a wrench. Every sock troll like this. Then what would happen? Huh? I want you to say in your own words what you think would happen if I was to give these fucking trolls a wrench right now. All these kinds of accounts. Yeah, look, more of them comes in. Average ricochet mullet alternative. What the fuck? Should I start dissecting these channel names on them? Average ricochet mullet alternative. What the hell does that even mean? What the hell does that even mean? For Christ's sakes. What the fuck does that even mean? Rinko monk mullet. Who the hell? They're getting ridiculous. Awful. This is worse than what Elvis had to deal with. Because at least that some of them wrote those. I mean, he had trolls, don't get me wrong, but this repeat, botting shit is just stupid. Elvis's troll comments were better than this shit. At least. But hey, either way. Yeah, it is dumb. Just zap them when they come in, just on site. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. This brings views to my channel. And indeed, I see that. You've actually impressed me with that. God. Imagine this is what it's come to. Imagine this shit's what it's come to. God damn it. No kidding. I wonder how many views this live stream is going to end up having by the end of it. I'll just make them look like total asses. It's just, it ends up turning into view body. And the numbers by the end of it will be the ones that are the biggest because of this. I'll make you trolls all look like fucking assholes if that's what you want. I'll make the show all about you, huh? How about that if I stop making the show all about you, huh? Because ignoring them certainly doesn't seem to work, I'll tell you that. Ignoring them sure doesn't seem to work. Not responding to them doesn't seem to work. I mean, so I'm going to just put you all on blast. I'm going to talk about trolls every night. That's what I'm going to do. I'll be reduced to talking about trolls every night. And at that point, there's people that aren't going to want to watch that kind of content. So, you know what that's going to lead to eventually? That's just going to lead to me not wanting to come onto this channel anymore. Because nobody else will want to stick around and listen to me talk about the trolls. This is where things are headed, Noodles. This is where things are headed, Queen. So these trolls try to rub people off. That's what they try to do, and I'm speaking about the root of the problem here. They should go to every bathroom and post this guy's information on every single bathroom in New York City. And let's see how he likes being called every night. Let's see how he likes that kind of shit. Let's see how he likes to be texted nonstop. Let's see. Hey, Queen. The noodles, too. What do you think if my channel got reduced to talking about the trolls all the time? Unblock Carrie. That's Carrie Bridges right there. I know that is. Carrie Bridges, what the fuck is your obsession? You are just as pathetic as Bonner. Just about. You're almost there. You were at that old destitute Abby level, and now you're at Bonner's level. That's a pretty goddamn bad shape. Right there. So Carrie, go fuck yourself, will you? Suz, what's up, Suz? Thanks for coming in and typing in here. Despite the fact all these trolls are in here right now, we need to get more people commenting in here. Positive commenters that want to add to the show are welcome in here. Even if you're new. Just try to ignore it. That's all. I want you to ignore it, if you can. Suz, what's up? What community you from, Suz? They certainly are, Dan. They're a bunch of cowards. That's exactly right. But they also try to scare people away from coming here, too. They try to scare people from coming to this channel. I'd like to see Craig talk about this. If Craig's going to find room to talk about this today when he does a friggin' show, okay, then it just shows that he's all for endorsing this kind of thing. Even if he doesn't care for me much, the fact that he would still endorse this kind of thing just shows the kind of so-called adversary that he is. Because he wants to think of himself as OG, but he still can't battle me the same way that the OGs used to in the old days. He'll resort to flagging. That's what he'll really do. He'll resort to flagging. Set up business in the real world I'm trying to attend to right here. That's why you hear those things going on. Because you see, I'm actually doing shit unlike you losers out here. I'm like you fucking losers out here. You dickheads. You miserable abominations on planet Earth. You have to think of someone's appearance to friggin' judge. You have to, because you ain't got anything going for your damn self. You're ugly as fuck. You want to go into hiding. And that's really all it comes down to. All of them are losers. They 100% are. This is the worst I've seen YouTube. Well, this is the deadest I've seen YouTube. It's pretty dead right now. Wouldn't you say it's pretty dead right now? Over here, but it's at the worst level it's at, too. There's no active participation anymore, and that's fine. That's totally fine, but this is just the result of all that, and that's fine, too. Because there is going to come a day where this community is going to get killed off. The new people coming in are going to drown out all these other people. At the very least, but it's also, we're at a decline as well. We're either going to totally decline or the platform is going to have to improve at some point. It's going to have to improve at some point. And getting rid of all those channels that got terminated that aren't coming back is the process that it's going through. That's what I feel. Is going through a transformation right now. That's where I feel YouTube is at. A lot of the people that used to come on here aren't here anymore. Hell, Anderson and Tasha left it. I think 4 people replaced. At least 3 people replaced him, or 4. N times Mary being one of them, Queen being another one, and somebody else, somebody else. I can't think of their names right now. Allison's trying to build her channel. I mean, there are new people on the rise right now. And Phantom started doing his side chats, and that's only been since Anderson got locked up. That's only been since he's been in jail. He started doing these side chats. He must have thought Anderson must have really held some people back. Not just me from wanting to do more content, but I guess others too. And I'm not even a big fan of Phantom as a person. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. I don't like his outlook on life, really. But it just shows that Anderson held back some people on him. And when Tasha was spiraling out of control, that led Magical to come into the community. Think of what you think of her. She's still a newer person here, though. So some people have expanded. I think the community has kind of expanded with certain people leaving. I just think it has. Just like when Elvis got terminated, Camilo and Molasses came into the community. And Noodles, you started doing live streamings around the time Elvis got his original channel taken down. I think that opened up a spot for you at that time. So it seems like we're multiplying. When a few end up getting taken down, then more multiplying coming here, it seems like, than a new one. It's just this pattern that I've been seeing. Of course, a few don't pan out, but there's always replacements, it seems like. And Holly and Dent's fizzling out, too. As well. You never saw this sort of thing in my other community, maybe once. Yeah, a lot of these other communities don't have this level of bullshit over there. They don't. And Carolyn's one who starts and drums up her own drama, but she was the only one practically doing that in all these other communities that she was in. She was one of the very few doing that. And she would tell me about all these people going after her. I'm like, Noodles, listen to this. Carolyn told me all these people were coming after her in her old community that she was in. She didn't even join the Boy yet. And she told me all these people are coming after her. I'm like, trust me, it's not as bad as it is over here. You got nothing going on to the level that I have it going on in the Boy. You do not, so stop. You're just making this shit up, is what you're doing. When I used to talk to her in private. That's what I said to her. March of last year, I ran into her. I was in South Carolina when I ran into her. On here. And that's what I said. I'm like, you don't have that level. You can't even provide the names of the people that are doing this shit, so it has to be you making it all up. She'll bring her own drama. And that's why initially I thought she'd be the perfect person to bring into Boyd, because she was that way. Well, it turns out she ended up coming here anyway on her own free will, but I put the seeds out for her earlier than that to come into this community. Then she did it on her own, but I still put the seeds out there. So she would wander into a place like this, and I knew she would wander into a place like this. Okay, I knew that she would. She's being stalked by her own mind. That's exactly right. If she wasn't, she'd be more of a person I'd want to hang around. If she wasn't that much like that. She's beyond crazy. That's the thing. I thought she'd be the perfect person to roll through the Boyd with. And she came in on her own free will later, but it just didn't have the result I wanted. Because I was motivated at that time when I was talking to her to possibly bring her in, but then she later decided to come in, you know? She is, absolutely. But then all these people she has on her own panel are not like this at all. She doesn't have anyone that seems overly messed up. They seem like they're mildly autistic people, maybe. Or they're like this Tasha Burnett woman. Nobody knows who she is really around here. But she seems to have like slightly autistic types, or just people who don't really get into drama that are on her panel. And she does her tarot things, but it's like, it's just she manages to somehow separate those worlds. But the more she keeps coming over here, the more people over here are going to discover her community, and her privacy will be removed. That's what's ultimately going to happen. You want to keep doing your fuckery and shit. That is what's going to happen. I mean, there's no other way around it, in my eyes. I mean, things happen in such crazy ways sometimes. And again, I'm going to feature the coffee that I'm having right now, the mix that I bought yesterday when I was out. I bought this great value Walmart French vanilla cappuccino. Hey, to anyone who wants a cappuccino fix, put this in their coffee. It's amazing. This is good stuff. Cappuccino, French vanilla. It's just $2 and something for all this. A thing full of cappuccino powder right here. It's better than those Folger ones. It's better than those Hills, whatever those ones you find in the dollar store are. These are better. This is better. Right here. I think now I'm going to have the straight mix and not even put any coffee in it. I'm going to see how it is. French anything? Like what kinds of French stuff? Cappuccinos are my favorite one. French coffee? Last I checked, cappuccino wasn't French. Oh, I see. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. How's it relate to cappuccino, though? Cappuccino's not French, last that I checked. It's not. Alright. You mean like baguettes? Is that what you're talking about? I'll tell you what I got. I got these hot dog rolls yesterday. These are amazing. This bread is actually good bread right here. I got this Rotella's Italian Bakery brand hot dog buns. Italian breaded hot dog buns right there. Do you find too many of those hot dog buns made with Italian bread? These right here. This is strictly going to be coffee mix here. Without the coffee being added in here. See how this is. See how creamy that looks? Blueberry instant oatmeal. I don't try blueberry. I don't like all those flavored oatmeals much. Besides the maple and brown sugar. That's the one. I don't like these other ones. That Expect Us guy. Hey, who do you think that Expect Us guy is? It's not Barter. I know that. It's somebody else. But they're all in cahoots, all of them. I'll tell you that right now. They're all fucking in cahoots. Those ones. That one acts so much like Barter. I'll tell you that. I've always thought it was JT. I always had a feeling it was JT Hoots. Do I know the real truth about these people who used to come on here and they used to say they were libertarian and they were all for total free speech and stuff, right? They just wanted a platform to say their hateful ideas on. That's really all they wanted. In the society they really want, they really couldn't survive in it. You know? They really couldn't survive the society that they were pushing for. Around the libertarian revolution times on the internet. these people would say they're all for free speech. They don't censor any trolls or any comments and all that and stuff. You think that kind of a world works. It really doesn't, though. People think that kind of a society works, but there's a reason they're in the heavy minority. You know? Because there are some apolitical people who are pretty fucked up. You know who was pretty apolitical on here, believe it or not? He tended to veer Republican to some degree, but he was pretty much apolitical every time he talked about politics. You know who that was? Harold. So all these people who don't even have a political affiliation can be messed up in some ways, too. It's not just people who are in these political parties or whatever. And a lot of these were these self-proclaimed libertarians that wanted to talk about free speech, how everywhere there should be free speech, right? I used to believe in that too, but it doesn't work. It really doesn't. They would. Yeah, pretty much. There is no real such thing as a world built on that kind of stuff, though. They either want to provide on purpose or they want to themselves say their hateful thoughts on certain platforms. And if they don't say it, they want to provide and enable other people to say it because they kind of think the same way too. They're just not speaking about it, kind of thing. Like that. So when you think of a guy like Phantom, okay, that's who I'm kind of talking about. Well, no, that guy's got some real fucked up thoughts in his head. Yeah, Dan, there's this guy creating a free speech side chat. And it gives me reminders of the old days when there were people on here where nobody got censored and we saw how it was. Okay? And it was a good idea when the website first started out, when the trolls weren't really that bad. But now that things are so out of control and there's still people hanging on to that thought process, then now these times are telling where your head may be. If you're endorsing free speech for everyone, no matter what is said, it just doesn't work. The libertarian ideology might as well be failed. It's only idealistically seems when you're a little more immature that things can be run that way, but it really can't be run that way. Yeah, he was here for a while, a long time. Yeah, he was here years ago too. There were some weirdos here years ago too. Again, it wasn't as bad as it is today, but there were still some of those types. They just didn't create other accounts. They usually kept one account or something, and they'd keep talking, like that. Or they'd talk on other platforms. If you blocked them over on yours, they would just talk on other platforms about you, or they'll mention your name or something. But they didn't create tons of accounts. Some people did, like Anderson did. A couple of other people created many accounts. It was just more common that not every troll created multiple accounts. You know. Harold created multiple backup accounts for when he got flagged. And he would show up on all different ones when he got flagged and shit. The fuck? I'm telling you right now. Everything's what the. Yeah, but he was in the community for a while. Mm-hmm. The ones who have multiple accounts, even I have multiple accounts, they showed their face years ago at least. But they kept getting booted. Here I am, bitch. I'm on another account. What are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna drop a video tonight on you. That's the kind of society we were on here years ago. I'm gonna drop another video tonight. I'm dropping at 8 o'clock tonight. Be there. This is a show you're not gonna want to miss. Be there or be square. Because I got some people I'm gonna drop on. Names are gonna be flying around. It was more like that kind of a thing back here years ago. There was video fighting. Usually made 2 or 3, up to 6, maybe up to 7-minute videos, video fighting. But usually the quicker the better to some people. The quicker you got your point out, that was the name of the game years ago. The quicker you talked and got your point across, you would win the battle. If the time was quicker and you said everything you had to say within 2 minutes. And then if someone dropped 10 minutes worth of stuff on you, you'd lose. Some people really lived by those extreme battling laws years ago on here, those battling rules on here years ago. Now everything switched to live streams. And then when someone like Harold came back, he had to get used to the live streaming, and that's when he got thrown in jail. I don't know how they have the time to waste. Suze, I'm going to give you a wrench, okay? Just in case you want to kick some of these trolls yourself, okay? I'm going to give you a wrench, Suze. Alright. No, it's just a waste of goddamn time. It really is. You know what? Yeah. No, they do. They're bored. They have no lives. It's really a combination of a bunch of bullshit like that, yeah. Unfortunately. Suits. All right. Good. Been going to Walmart's these past couple of days, looking for stuff. Welcome. Indeed. So it's going to be a crappy day out today. It was sunny yesterday. Now it's all overcast. You have a trade? Oh, you have? Who'd you go by? You're not Susie Yay, are you? I'm trying to think. You've been watching my channel for a long time. Alright. It's good. Good you announced yourself today. Yeah, I know. You learn something new every day. I didn't even know until this person mentioned it just now. Huh. Stuff like that helps, you know? Rather than if someone comes in here trolling like you blocked me, we were talking the other night, that I don't even remember what it was about, you know? I like it when someone comes to me and they say they came from the past or something, you know, and they've been following my channel a while or whatever. Halloween? It's too early for Halloween. What's so great about Halloween that you want to wait 6 months for it? Or 7, March, April, May, June, July. Oh, yeah, 6, 7 months. Never spoke up before. Are you for real? You never spoke up before now, but you watch. Wow, really? Just shows you never know who's going to be watching. You just never know, do you? You like to think it's people who don't have the guts to say what they got to say. You like to think that it's people who are blocked. You like to think there's people who are afraid to speak. I don't know what your circumstances are, but... All right, cool. Well, I consider you a loyal supporter then, at this point. Just someone for whatever reason didn't come out before, kind of thing. I don't know. I found these the other day. $22 for these unisex shoes here. What do you think of these? Hold on a sec. Pull these apart here. Got these. Oh, good. Okay. You like Clutch too, really? What albums? I like the Jam Room album. I'll actually play that right now. Now that you say that, that just reminds me. Jam Room, I think, fits. I will play that one here. $19.99. Most people just... Oh, yeah, End Times Mary isn't a troll, really. I think End Times Mary's just really that nuts. But her voice, it's just so... It's calming to me. Like raspy. Yeah. She's got a few videos up. A live stream, too. Yes, it could have been her. It actually could have been her. It might have been a recording, but I'll tell you, that's how she talks on her streams. But if that really was her talking, that would have been funny. I think it might have been. She goes off on a tangent, I notice. So it could have been her. Really talking to everybody. Because her streams are just kind of like that in general. Listen to that drum roll right there. I like that in the country. Hey Queen, you know who Clutch is? Do a tap dance on eggplant parmesan. Such interesting lyrics. God by Moses, hold back the church, raised by druids and horses. Like, you gotta pick out what he's saying. Underestimate power of underestimate. Quickly, he's lost his mind. Yeah, well, this is where to go for that. He did some song about taking out the trash out every Thursday night and having chicken catching Tori, you know, like a love song. Yeah. Why do? Hold on a sec. Wait. West Virginia. They have mentioned Canada though when it come to legalizing pot though. They did mention Canada before in one of their songs. Going up to Canada or something. The song's called Green Buckets or something. It's one of these. Here it is. This is like a love song right here, kind of. Cause we have a drink, we have a nice time. Stop the TV and leave, it's not time, prime time. They just kicking, catching, Tory and fine. We're in this house all alone. You know this song, don't you? I first heard this when I was in high school, like later on. No one listened to this kind of music where I went to school. Nobody. But I would discover it, you know? We could take the trash out every Thursday night. Plastics and newspapers and these green buckets. See how it's all over the place? Love you. I sure would treat you right. We could take the trash out every Thursday night. Could be the pillars of the neighborhood. I was the type of person, I wore grunge type clothing, right? And people would tell me I don't wear the right clothes. I had a special needs kid even told me I don't wear the right clothes in this school. I'm like, why? What's wrong with what I'm wearing? It's like, oh. It just reminded me of those times, kind of. A little bit. Going back. He's got a bunch of chowder and beer stocked up, he would say. A lot of cans of chowder and beer or something. You hear it kind of sounds like I Am Butterfly a little bit. They were like the modern I Am Butterfly, really. So if you like Inagata DeVita or something, this is the more modern version of that. If I played something like this to my father, right, Queen, listen to this. I would play this kind of music for my father. He's like, it sounds like he's sick. He would say it sounds like he's sick. This sounds like a sick I Am Butterfly. He actually told me he thought it sounded like a sick version of I Am Butterfly, with the guy sounded like he was ill or something. You know? Oh, like if I played something else like Propane. This is one of the songs I played for him before, right? Foul Taste of Freedom by Propane. If you've heard this one before. He thought totally that this one needed to be in intensive care. Right here. This one right here. They have an album called 20 Years of Hardcore. Full album. Like their greatest hardcore songs for 20 years. He thought this one sounded totally sick. I ain't got no money. I lost my dog and my house and my peace of mind. Simon Jackson robbing checks. We got the red, white, and blue, that's our seed. We got the right to survive, that's our seed. We could be all you could be. See, taste the foul, taste the freedom, baby. An hour and a half. Your country, then you're probably rich. The piss. Pretty thick. He was pretty much saying this country's either for the rich or the poor, really. Technically, this was going back years ago, too. 92, when things weren't even as messed up as they are now. 92. But you know what I noticed? Wait a minute. Now these performers aren't even coming out. You notice that? They're not coming out with any new material now. It's almost like back then they spent all their energy. But they got none for today. You notice that? They got none for today. Or they've aged quite a bit. But years ago, they had more energy to speak or to sing song lyrics like this when things weren't even as bad as they are today. But some people saw a reality if they were older maybe back then, or something might have happened. I don't know. But there were people back then who thought our country was going downhill, totally. And we're going back years. We're talking like what, 30 years ago now? Just about 30 years ago. There are people saying it. But now it's like I don't think they even have energy to speak on it anymore. Because, like I said, I think they've aged, they've moved on, they're probably not making albums anymore. And to some of the artists still making albums, sometimes it's just the tired old stuff, and there's really not anybody new coming out. You know, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like you don't have anyone really making new music actively speaking of like the old MTV revolution. They should be having something going on. Don't you agree? There's nothing going on in regards to this kind of thing. And we're worse than we've ever been right now. I don't get it. You know? Just don't. They're aged out, but they had their energy then. It's funny because back at that time they used their energy when it wasn't even as bad as it is now. Do you think they should have reserved their energy for now? What do you think? They probably should have reserved some of their energy for these times, don't you think? Some performers, at least, maybe should have. That did this kind of stuff. But they did all this good revolutionary, reactionary type music, but it was done a long time ago. And then these people ended up probably supporting Donald Trump later on. It's just something how things change like that now. And now we don't have them anymore. Kind of like people either aged and they sold out, maybe some sold out, some of them aged. It's a weird combination. It kind of goes back to the gay community, how the gay community sold out. You know what I'm saying? Like when Noodles talked about the gay community selling out or whatever. Or something like that. When at one time they pretty much had all the advantages and they had everything and they gave it up kind of thing. And he would know because he hung around those people more than I did when I was young. I was never, whether you know it or not, Queen, I was never part of gay circles growing up. I lived a pretty suburban existence. I didn't grow up in a place where that kind of thing was encouraged. So I was in class with a lot of people who didn't even know what any of this stuff, like anything to do with trans issues, was just not a thing when I was a kid. Even if I had some of that stuff in me, no one knew what to really call it. And if there was something for it, it got kept from people. Because people had their certain ideals. They moved to the suburbs and have children, and they pretty much sheltered all their kids from the city experience, you know. And then later on they have to find this stuff because when they're young they don't. And there's even some people that haven't changed one iota from when they were kids going to school with me, while others had to go find themselves. There's others still living in that same world that I grew up in too. It's almost like the Twilight Zone. No one even really knew. Yeah, pretty much. Some people there were people who lived in certain cities and they were able to interact. They were able to meet people in the gay community. They were able to go to these places. And anytime I thought of gay communities or gay bars at one time, it was only the extremist examples. Like, why would you walk into a gay bar to check it out, right? And then certain people in there would be ready to grab you and get all touchy-feely and everything. And sometimes I wonder if that's really why some of the gay bars have closed down, really. Because maybe they were just getting too touchy-feely for comfort. If that made sense. Because I know there was some a while back who used to just do that to you if you walked into a bar or something. And I got weirded out by it big time. So, and all that. Well, anytime you come in here and you say your account is blocked, I'm going to block you. If you don't know the nature of that game, you're now going to be blocked. Because you all say the fucking same thing as someone else. I can't tell the difference between any of you. And the gay bars were also like a safe place for people to go. But not all the time they weren't, though. Even back then, sometimes they alienated people also because of how they were as well. But now they live full lives and they don't have to resort to bars, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's right. And some of them may have also changed their vote as well. It's, I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. But I think the younger generations are taking a different approach, but at the same time, their approach isn't winning also. So, where do you draw the line here? Because the younger people, they're not doing what the older generations were doing in the gay community, but at the same time, what they're doing isn't working also. So, it comes down to where do you draw the line between everything? Weird, because I came across a trans profile this morning that said they were listed right around here, but when I talked to them, they said they were in France at the moment, and that they go back and forth, but they're living in France. I'm like, why the hell are you living in France? And I'm like, this problem with this country is anyone good who's in the scene or anybody good in general has left this country or they're homeless, and they can't make a difference where it's needed right here because all the bad people are taking over. It's like, we need people like you, and you're over in France. That's what I said to this person. We need people like you, yet you're over in France and you visit here like for part of the year. It's like what good's that gonna do? What good is that really gonna do? I've talked to people in Africa. I talked to. I mean, I've come across a variety of people. I mean, I have within this last couple months actually. In my own right, I have. And there's someone who's living over in Africa that I've talked to, who's a female, and she's like an intense advocate for LGBT rights, actually. Over in Nigeria. And I guess this person is seen as a celebrity over there, too. So, I think there's a reason you come across people, whatever that may be, if you end up meeting them down the road, or even if you don't, you get ideas. You get ideas to play with, at least. What are some people doing? But the ones who have their profiles listed not far from here, and they're in France, and they only come here X amount of the year, it's like, how'd they get to live in France? And I would never want to live in France. And I couldn't, even if I wanted to. And then as I talked to this person, I was like, oh yeah, it doesn't seem like we're even a good match anyway. I'm like, yeah, I see that. I mistake you for a real smart person who might have known what I was talking about or understood the topics I talk about, but I guess you don't. I guess you really don't see where the little people come from after all. Is what I ended up saying to this person. So I'm battling with all different things. Then I have to come out here and battle with people too. I don't like it, but it's something that I've been doing, and I don't. And sometimes I'm left to take a choice. Oh, and then some people who, but at least I'm better off, say, on certain sites where other people can see the hateful posts, you know? If you go on Craigslist, you kind of isolate yourself from other people. So if you're posting, people are not going to see it sometimes if you have a private conversation with somebody. At least if you go to a forum where others can catch what other people are saying, you want to catch them red-handed saying something terrible, you know what I'm saying? But there are trolls all across. They're not just on here, but I deal with them. And there might be some that show their face, but they just say the most meanest, backwards type comments that you would ever see, you know? They might as well be like these people on here. hiding their faces. They really might as well be sometimes. So, and one of these people, you know where he happens to live, it turns out? One of these assholes that I ran into? The nicest part of the city. Sometimes they live in the nicest parts of the city and they gloat about it. You know? And they hate anyone who's going through an actual struggle. Because I do. I put the word out there. Where I put something out there, I put an ad out there. Because I know better not to ask for help here. I see what that has got me. I've seen what that's got to be, or to get people's opinions here, or to sympathize with the situation or whatever. I've seen what that has gotten me over here on this side of YouTube. And people will just get you an email and they'll troll you. And then they'll disappear for a while. And then you ask where they've been, and then they totally disappear. Why do you think I've said those things about Jasmine Star? Because Jasmine Star does this very thing. This very subtle, kind of nasty, behind-the-scenes ghosting. So Jasmine Star needs to be called out nonstop for that. Especially when other people mention her now. You know? It makes me want to go with her more. So that's what I have been. There's never not a reason when I come to my determination about things or about somebody. We're ready to beat this guy up. It was terrible. We made sure he got to his car safely. So you had a vintage clothing store, right? Well, you had some guy who used to be nice and help. But the other kids, what do you mean? If you were now by in high school, you would not. So if you're not bi in high school nowadays, you're not normal. So if you're total, are you saying that if you're totally straight, you're ostracized? Is that what you're saying now, Queen? Is that how Canada is in the present moment? I don't know. I gotta know, because what you're saying here sounds kind of funny. These were so bi has become normal. And what about for some people who are bisexual, but they're also different in other ways? Are they still ostracized in that environment also? For other reasons? Well, they'll pick other reasons if it isn't your sexuality, right? Let me guess. Like, it's become like totally normie in Canada, I guess, to be bi, but it seems like these people who are so-called out or whatever, they act like normies, correct? Is that pretty much what they do? Because there are sectors of America where it's kind of that way too, where they'll just think of any reason to not like you if it's another reason or something. But they're not going to be outward and open about it. That's why I love to catch these assholes. That's why I like to catch them like on a day-to-day, like in a classmate situation where you have to go to school with them every day. You know what I'm saying? This way you can put them in their place. They don't have to act like it is just. But people do still get left out and discriminated against, don't they? That's the question I'm trying to ask. You say it's a straight person, but what if it's someone who's actually bi, but they still find something else they don't like about him? Then what? Then what? If they're not the straightest person in the world, but they just are not approved by the group or whatever. Does it work very much like that also? It has to a point. Because that's how it is in America, actually. You got people on one side, and then you got people on the opposite other side. But it doesn't mean they're productive either. It doesn't mean that they're being productive just because they're on the other side. All right, well, that's what I had to ask. I wasn't sure. That's why I think if you could get these people like in a classroom setting or something, it would be better to evaluate how it would be. You have to see them every day, and not everything is online. You know what I'm saying? Online has brought out a ton of cowards. I hope the people of the internet that created the internet knew what they were getting into when they were creating this platform. They've made society a lot worse, even though there might be some conveniences with the internet. At the same time, I think it's made some things worse. I really think it has made enough things worse for me to question everything here, or come to the conclusion that I've come to, that the internet's going to have to die the hard way eventually, and people are going to have to go back to living how they once used to live. I mean, it's going to have to go to that, or everything's going to be destroyed here in this country. Everything's going to be destroyed. There's no other way around it, I don't think. Honestly, I don't think there's any way around it. It wouldn't be, but you'd have more local options. You'd have to reach out locally to people, is my point. You'd have to do it even more if there was no internet, or if the internet was very limited in what you could do. There was no YouTube. There was no, maybe they had Facebook, but maybe they didn't have all this other stuff. Remember the MySpace times even, it was still easier than it is now, but it was still trending in that direction either way. MySpace was looked at as a positive networking site at one time. There was still your people who started shit, but it still wasn't as bad as this. I think the YouTube revolution took off, and now things are at an unimaginable place. That's why YouTube may have to die off. YouTube in general may have to die off, let alone the boy. All these other communities on here that need to die. I think maybe YouTube might need to also. For things to really change, it may need to. This has become an addiction for so many people. It's not even funny right now. You never used it? You were around in that time, though. You were the perfect age at that time to be using it. Amazing you never used it. Unless you were out in the world more back then. Some of us have been trying to socially network on the internet for as long as it's been around. At least the last 15 years. Or better. You're 57? Oh my god, for real? Oh, so you're much older. I'm 41. I would have never guessed, Queen. You're 57. Wow. Never would have guessed. That's something. You look really good for 47. 57, rather. You're welcome. No, the reason. Oh, last night you were in slingshots. I know. So when I came in there, remember he kicked me in there and stuff. And the reason I asked him that question, right? Because that's really what he believes. You know, he believes that women should submit to him and bow down to him, and he tries to tell them, "Oh, things are gonna get so bad, so you're gonna have to marry a nice guy like me or something." You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff he tries to pull. You know, he said, you're going to be out having a whore and everything like this. You're going to be whores. You're going to be this and that. So you have to meet a nice guy like me to show you the way and to house you, because it's going to be very bad out there. And you're going to need a nice guy like me. That's the kind of thing that he usually pushes. That's why I told you to be aware of him. That's really the main reason why. So I say to him, yeah, so do you think you'll let the club women over the head to get laid or whatever? I said something like that yesterday when I went in there. Yeah, that's what he's all about. I mean, if you didn't know that before, I figured I would tell you. That's all. I hear sirens. And that Nick is insane too. That Nick, he was in Phantom yesterday. Really nuts, that one. And now they're saying he might he might be behind the scenes even more now in regards to what's going on around here. But it'll make it seem like he's not around. Or he's out doing stuff or whatever, but that guy's got a hand in something. Usually at all times he usually has. Although this time it would be crazy, but then again, is it? I don't know. I was really not around for that long, and they're here plotting for that long or whatever. Right. Yeah, I just figured I'd tell you about some of these people because you got to be warned about some of them. They're really not good on here. So, yeah. Any last words before I end the stream? Ready to cut out for the morning right now. Ready to cut out. I don't know if I'll go live later. This might be the only stream I do today. Any last words? All right, thank you. Yeah, you too. What do you just day to day? Do you just kind of? I have no idea what your average day is like. You don't have to tell me, but I have wondered at times a little bit. I wonder if you have more time for YouTube than you ever have, maybe now or whatever. I don't know. Nice amber glass, thanks. Yeah, this you mean? Yeah. Okay. So. I was out like looking and stuff. I stopped all different places, Walmart, smoke shops, and cigars are actually pretty expensive out here. It's actually amazed what I've seen. Every place like paying like at least $7-8 for something. Unless you go to a few stores and carry out, maybe. You have more time now that I have. Was in a terrible accident, and I have to tell you more about it. I thought, yeah, tell me another time. I'll reserve that for another time. But right now, I'm going to go, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, Queen. Thanks for coming in, Suze. You've introduced yourself. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go. Move on for the rest of the day. Talk to you later. Bye.